Welcome to this week's video. So this week I've got a Nintendo Switch that doesn't dock. So everything seems to be working fine on it. I thought it was okay. And then when I went to dock it, just to double check, nothing happens. So it goes into the dock, but nothing displays on the screen. I've double checked the dock and I do know the dock works itself, so it's definitely an issue with the Switch. So we need to take it apart. So screws out and then back cover off first. Then the heat shield screws all out and then the heat shield comes off. Then we need to disconnect the battery and then remove all the motherboard screws. Now the motherboard's out, we can check it under the microscope. So this chip on the back, the P13 USB, this is what outputs the video. So this or the filters below are going to be the culprit. So first to check the capacitor above it. So there's only one beep on one side. So at the moment it says the chip's okay, but it can still be bad if it doesn't show. Next up I need to check these filters. Unfortunately this looks like it had work done on it, so it's covered in flux. So I'm just going to give it a quick clean with isopropyl. And once it's all cleaned and dried off, I'll be able to check again. So you put a prong on either side in continuity mode and you should get a beep from one side to the other. If you get a beep diagonal, that means that there's an issue with the filter. If you don't get a beep, that also means there's an issue with the filter. So these are all okay so far. The one that normally fails is this top one. So I give it a quick check and it seems to be beeping on either side and no cross beeps. So currently I think the filters are okay as well. So as I said before, the P13 is the one that can read okay but can still be faulty. So I'm going to take a punt and decide to give this a change. So I've got a new one, just need to prep it. So we need to put a little bit of flux on it. And then we just need to put a little bit of solder around the edges, on the edge pads. You can put some on in the middle, the ground pad, but if you put too much on, when you press it down it's going to squeeze out and it can go on some of the surrounding capacitors, which could cause an issue and make it a little bit harder for cleaning up. So we add a little bit of flux and then we'll add some heat. So 460C, 80% speed flow. Leave it on there for a minute or two and then just carefully lift up and out. Then we'll get the new chip for straight back on. So heat the board back up and then line it up as best as you can. Then we let it cool for a minute. Once it's cool, we press down, put the heat back on, and any excess solder will squeeze out the sides as it is. Then we just add a little bit more flux, get your soldering iron and just very carefully dip onto it and get away the excess. If you go in too heavy handed, you're going to knock off some of the capacitors. And then we'll give it another quick clean of isopropyl alcohol. So give it a quick once over and it looks okay. It looks like all the solder pads are lined up. It looks like they're nice and secure. The next thing we need to do is going to have to test it. So put the motherboard back into the housing, then we'll dock it. And then a quick look on the screen and then there we go, we've got a video output. But the P13 was the one at fault and now we've got a working switch. Thanks very much for watching, please like, comment and subscribe.